December 2025. Something doesn't add up here, folks. Tesla just reported their worst November sales in nearly 4 years, down 23% to just 39,800 vehicles. That's despite cutting $5,000 off their standard Model 3 and Model Y prices. The entire US EV market down over 41%. Yet Tesla stock just hit an all-time high at $490. Wall Street isn't crazy. They know something most people are missing. We're now less than 130 days away from mass production of two game-changing vehicles: the autonomous Cybercab with no steering wheel for Robotaxi service, and the affordable Model 2 for people who still want to drive themselves. Model 2 we'll cover in another video. Today, we're laser-focused on Cybercab, the two-seat Robotaxi that's already testing unsupervised on Austin streets. I'm breaking down the leaked photos, the revolutionary manufacturing process, and why Wall Street is betting $1.4 trillion that this vehicle, not current sales, will define Tesla's future. Let's dig in.
What exactly is Cybercab? First, let's be crystal clear about what we're dealing with. Cybercab isn't just another Tesla model. This is a purpose-built autonomous taxi designed from the ground up with one job: operate 24/7 without a human driver. Here's what makes it radically different. 2 seats only. No steering wheel, no pedals. Not even as an option. They're gone completely. This is the first production vehicle in Tesla's history designed to never be driven by a human. The economics are staggering. Traditional taxi services cost riders $2 to $3 per mile. Uber and Lyft, about the same after surge pricing. Tesla claims Cybercab will operate at 20 to 30 cents per mile. That's not a typo. That's 90% cheaper than what you pay today. And here's the kicker. Tesla doesn't plan to sell these to you and me, at least not initially. They're keeping them, operating their own fleet. Think about that. Tesla becomes both the car company and the taxi company. No Uber taking a cut, no driver getting paid, just pure margin flowing straight to Tesla. Here's the business model that has Wall Street salivating. Every Cybercab operating 20 hours a day at 30 cents per mile generates roughly $180 to $220 in daily revenue. Subtract electricity costs of about $15, maintenance reserves of $10, and insurance of $5, you're looking at $150 plus in daily profit per vehicle. Multiply that by 365 days, and each Cybercab produces $54,000 in annual profit. Now scale that to a fleet of 100,000 vehicles, and you're generating $5.4 billion in pure operating income every single year. Compare that to selling a $45,000 Model 3 with a one-time profit margin of maybe $8,000. Tesla sells the car once and moves on. With Cybercab, they earn that $8,000 back in less than 2 months of operation, then continue earning for years. It's the difference between selling razors and selling razor subscriptions, recurring revenue that compounds year after year. The technology inside? Their largest touchscreen ever, 21 inches, frameless windows for better visibility, ambient lighting that adjusts automatically, inductive charging, meaning it parks itself over a charging pad, no plug required. But the real revolution is underneath. Full self-driving hardware 4.0, the most advanced sensor suite Tesla's ever built. This car has to handle every scenario: rain, snow, aggressive drivers, pedestrians, construction zones, with zero human backup. That's why the NHTSA exemption matters so much. Federal vehicle safety standards require steering wheels and pedals. Tesla needs special permission to build this. And folks, that approval process, it's where dreams go to die or get delayed for years.
From concept to reality. The timeline nobody's talking about. October 2024, Elon unveils Cybercab at the We Robot event. Most people thought it was vaporware, another concept car we'd never see.
I'll be honest, I was skeptical too. Tesla's promised full self-driving next year since 2016. Starting in April, Tesla began unsupervised testing in Austin, Texas. Not supervised with safety drivers, unsupervised. Empty driver seats, cars picking up Tesla employees as test passengers with nobody at the controls. Then December happened, and everything accelerated. December 7th, first public sightings of a golden Cybercab, Texas plates, manufacturer tags, driving through downtown Austin during rush hour. No temporary steering wheel installation, no safety driver following in another car. December 15th, sightings in Palo Alto, California, then Fremont. Multiple Cybercabs, different colors, all on public roads mixed with regular traffic. December 18th, the big one. Drone footage from Gigafactory, Texas shows 16 Cybercab prototypes lined up for crash testing. 16! You don't crash test 16 vehicles unless you're weeks away from final validation. And folks, those crashed units? Airbags deployed, side curtain airbags. The safety systems worked. December 21st, Sawyer Merritt leaks the redesigned trunk photos. This is where it gets technical, but stay with me because this matters. The new trunk design shows rugged commercial-grade lining, not the soft carpet in your Model 3. Removed side humps for better aerodynamics. Narrower opening with specialized venting, possibly for battery thermal management during 24/7 operation. Powered struts. The trunk opens and closes itself. Why does a trunk redesign matter? Because it proves Tesla's thinking about durability. A regular car operates maybe 2-3 hours a day. Cybercab will run 20+ hours daily. That trunk will open 50 times a day. Every component, hinges, latches, seals, has to last 10 times longer than normal. These aren't concept car features. This is production engineering. And the timeline Tesla's engineers confirmed to shareholders in April? Production starts Q2 2026. That's April, May, or June. We're now less than 130 days away from April 1st.
Now let's talk about something that doesn't get enough attention. How Tesla plans to build millions of these. Traditional car manufacturing is linear. Chassis moves down a line, workers add parts in sequence. Model Y takes about 34 seconds per station. Cybercab? Tesla's targeting under 10 seconds per station. They're calling it the unboxed process. Instead of one long assembly line, imagine 6 separate stations building different sections simultaneously. Station 1, front section with sensor array and crash structure. Station 2, passenger cabin with seats and that massive screen. Station 3, rear section with motor and suspension. Station 4, structural battery pack, forms the floor. Station 5, roof assembly with that controversial membrane design. And Station 6, final assembly, brings it all together. Why this matters to you? Tesla claims they can reduce total parts by 50% and cut assembly time by 70%. If accurate, they could build Cybercabs faster and cheaper than any vehicle in automotive history. Let me put those numbers in perspective. A typical sedan has roughly 30,000 parts. Cybercab is targeting around 15,000, closer to what you'd find in a golf cart than a modern car. Fewer parts means fewer things that can break, fewer suppliers to coordinate, and dramatically lower manufacturing costs. Tesla estimates they can build a Cybercab for under $25,000, less than half the cost of a Model 3. The unboxed process also solves one of Tesla's biggest manufacturing headaches: bottlenecks. In traditional assembly, if one station slows down, the entire line slows down. With parallel assembly, if the front section team hits a problem, the other 5 sections keep building. Tesla can literally adjust production speed section by section, maximizing throughput. And there's another advantage nobody's talking about: quality control. When you build in sections, you can test and validate each section independently before final assembly. In traditional manufacturing, you don't discover a problem until the car is nearly finished.
With unboxed, you catch issues at the section level, dramatically reducing waste and rework. But here's the part that keeps me up at night: that membrane roof design. Traditional cars have steel pillars and rails. Cybercab uses a structural membrane with strategic reinforcements. Tesla says it's lighter and stronger, but it's never been crash-tested in a production vehicle before. Those 16 crashed prototypes in Texas? That's Tesla proving it works. The structural battery pack, the floor of the car, also acts as a crash-worthiness component. In a side impact, there's no transmission tunnel to absorb energy. The battery itself has to crumple in a controlled way without catching fire. Recent leaks show massive single-piece castings, front and rear sections, coming out of Giga Texas's 9,000-ton casting machines. These are bigger than Model Y castings. The precision required? Within 0.5 millimeters across a 3-meter component. And the supply chain is already moving. LG is building inductive charging systems. Samsung's delivering those 21-inch displays. Panasonic's battery cells are being produced specifically for 24/7 cycling, different chemistry than regular Tesla batteries to handle constant charging. This isn't vaporware anymore. The supply chain doesn't mobilize for concepts. Companies don't invest hundreds of millions in specialized components unless production orders are real. And folks, those orders are placed, money's been spent, contracts are signed.
Reality check. Regulatory hurdles and timeline risks. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room: federal approval. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, has to grant an exemption for vehicles without steering controls. Current federal law allows only 2,500 exemption vehicles per manufacturer per year. Tesla needs approval for hundreds of thousands. Good news: Texas has given preliminary state approval for unsupervised operation in Austin, San Antonio, and Houston metro areas. That's 7 million potential riders. Bad news: California, Tesla's largest market, is moving slower. Despite testing in Palo Alto and Fremont, full commercial approval hasn't been granted. And West Coast cities like San Francisco and Los Angeles, those are where robotaxis will make or break financially. Here's what worries me most: every autonomous vehicle company has hit unexpected delays. Cruise had to shut down operations after an accident. Waymo took 15 years to reach commercial operation. Tesla's timeline assumes everything goes right. Reality rarely cooperates. Weather testing? We've seen cybercabs in Texas sun. What about Minnesota snow, Seattle rain? Testing in all conditions takes months. Hardware durability? Those sensor cameras operate 20+ hours daily. In Arizona summer heat, in Texas humidity. Will they last 5 years, 10 years? But here's why I'm more optimistic than I was 6 months ago. Tesla's already operating unsupervised in Austin. Not demo rides, regular operation. They've completed crash testing, supply chain is delivering, regulatory approval in Texas is progressing. Could there be a 3 to 6 month delay? Absolutely. Could NHTSA require additional safety validation? Very possible. But is April 2026 realistic? For the first time, I'm saying yes. Limited production in Q2, expanding through 2026. By early 2027, you could realistically hail a Cybercab in Austin or potentially Houston.
So let's circle back to where we started. Tesla sales down 23%, EV market collapsing, yet the stock hits $490, all-time highs. Now you understand why. Wall Street isn't betting on current sales. They're betting on Tesla operating millions of autonomous taxis, keeping 100% of revenue, with costs under 30 cents per mile. If Cybercab works, and the evidence suggests it will, Tesla becomes a transportation network owning both vehicles and platform. Morgan Stanley projects $20 billion in annual robotaxi revenue by 2030, added to everything else Tesla does. But before you get too excited, next week, Part 2, 7 real risks Tesla fans need to know. We're covering snow and flood vulnerability, hardware degradation after 100,000 miles of 24/7 operation, crime vulnerability, and regulatory delays that could push this to 2027. Drop a comment. Cybercab saves Tesla in 2026? Or sales down, stock bubble ready to pop? Hit subscribe, turn on notifications. This story unfolds weekly. I'm bringing you every leak, every development, every reality check. See you next week. Stay sharp out there.